Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's SIIA TechChats. I'm your host, Jennifer Carl. Joining me this week is Rhonda Wunderlin, Senior Vice President, Performance Marketing at Questex. Questex is a global business information company with a unique integrated marketplace approach. Rhonda, why don't we jump right in and tell me your thoughts on the changing information services landscape?
Wow. Hi, Jennifer, and hi, everybody. I think when you think about information services, and it's kind of where media has been going for the last 8-10 years or so, most recently, I think the biggest changes are expectations from customers. And on our side of the business of what we deliver to our customers, it's really the availability of data. Ads, I think, are being viewed more and more intrusive. I read a stat the other day that was, I think, 64% of people view ads as being obnoxious and distracting. But I think with, machine learning and artificial intelligence, the ability for us as providers to provide responsive ads, relevant information, versus just blasting people with things they're not interested in is more expected by the consumers. I think also there's, a desire for people not necessarily to to block ads totally, but they don't want to see stuff that's not relevant to them. So in providing that customer experience, I think it's really important that we start to be more innovative in what we're presenting and how we're presenting it. Video has become, I think, much more compelling for a lot of companies, and they're finding video to really drive conversions. And that's not a 1 hour video, but just short segments of videos, whether it's product demonstrations, that kind of thing. Businesses are truly finding that converts visitors to actually engaged audience members. So I'd say it would be kind of those things that really are impacting the change.
So what do you think sponsors and advertisers are looking for from information services companies such as Questex?
Well, I think in the past, and they still do, they come to companies like Questex to reach our audience. So, we have strong brands in the markets we're in, there's pharma, biotech, beauty, travel, hospitality. And so they really, our job is to help connect buyers and sellers. And so I think today they're looking for more than just brand recognition or impressions. They're looking for people who are going to engage with them, that don't just look at their ad or click through their ad, but actually convert. And so in order for us to deliver that, it takes more than just content, but it takes us looking beyond the demographics. So we know we have the right people coming to our site, reading our content, but where are they in the buyer's journey? What is their current intent? What are the topics they're looking at, not just on our site, but off our site? And so I really think it's more marketing-centric data and leveraging that to reach the right audience versus just kind of a batch and blast approach to anybody who's on our site must be relevant to our clients when they're not. So I think really looking at intent data and behavior data and rolling that in with our first-party data, I think is what clients really want to get to, that buyer, not just impression of the right person.
So how is Questex helping its customers through the buying journey?
So I think it's what I just talked about, is taking our first-party data. So knowing who somebody is, the size of company they're at, the job level and job function that they're in, and then overlaying that behavior and intent data on top to really understand what information is going to get them to engage. I heard this term, it's actually been several years ago, but I really like it. So it's not just relevant information, but it's relevant and compelling. So I think that it was Trivia was the guy who was doing the presentation, so he called it compellevant. And I think that's what we need to do. We need to be compellant and really leverage different types of content based on where somebody is in the buyer's journey. And that means not just reaching them on our site or even off our site on other sites, but on channels that they are. And I think that the opportunity to reach them, not just on like social media channels like Instagram and Facebook, but extending our reach off our site to their consumer channels. Maybe it's Pandora or Spotify or a TV network. So I think really being able to reach B2B buyers through their B2C channels is something else that we really offer. And I think one of the things we're starting to develop with our content is kind of moving away from search and click, where people are just searching, come to our site and click on something, but more a kind of a similar to a social platform where it's more feed and follow, where people tell us what they're interested in and we're serving up the relevant information, whether it's from our editorial team or from our sponsors, the information that someone has raised their hand and said that they're looking to get.
So what advice could you give to others trying to connect buyers and sellers?
I think, the biggest challenge, and I've seen this everywhere I've been in organizations and when I was doing consulting with organizations, and it was what we were just talking about before we jumped on this interview, and that is data. You really need to be able to aggregate your data. So you're getting data from, obviously, your content sites. You're getting data from potentially publications, from events, and not just somebody's registered for an event, but the tracks they've attended, the booths that they've visited. And so I think in order to be compellant and to meet the customer expectations of a customer journey based on providing them content where they are in that cycle, you really need to have all your data aggregated together and then overlay on top of that the behavior and intent data. So some of that behavior data could come from your engagement with them, but also looking at how they're engaging off your site and in other platforms, and being able to overlay that on top of it. And then I think, once you have your data together, it's important to have the right tech stack, because you want to have the technology to be able to deliver the messaging and the content in the places where your customers are going to be. I think it's data and technology.
Yeah. Awesome. Rhonda, thank you so much for joining us today on SIIA TechChats. For more information on Questex, you can visit their website, and we'll see you all back here next time. Have a great day.
Thanks, Jennifer. Bye.